Hello, hello, and welcome to this week's Twin Flame Tuesday Divine Masculine Energy Empowerment Message, where we inquire to receive what we're needing to receive about bringing our own inner masculine into balance with our inner feminine, as well as what might be going on with our external masculine, if you so desire to hear that. But just going to point out for you, though, Goddess, on this twin flame journey, well, if your counterpart is your direct reflection, your exact mirror, I'd recommend going and looking deeper at yourself. And you will find that you have the answer that you're asking with regards to your counterpart. But let's explore this all together, so come with me into the forest for more than the trees. Let's discover and embrace all this intuition sees. Together we shall come to know that which we need to reclaim our goddess power on this twin flame journey indeed. If you are new to my channel, my name is Rochelle Richard, and that is what we do around here, is look for, find, and take back our power so we may rise and thrive on this, our twin flame self-love empowerment journey, because that is what a twin flame journey is, right, Goddess? It is about you coming back home to you. And that is why over here at Empowerment Experiences, we focus on the knowing about this twin flame journey, that it is about each our own selves and coming back home to our true selves within. It's not about a person, an entire separate being outside of you, but rather it is that relationship that you have with yourself, and as well with Source, with Creator, your spiritual aspect of yourself, as well as, of course, your twin flame counterpart and that spiritual side of things. But still, we always bring ourselves back to this space and place of awareness that this journey is about you, not about them. It's about you, Goddess. And so without further ado, let us dive in and see what the message is for you. And I usually sleep with this. This is my under the pillow malachite heart. It assists with the facilitation of the changes that we need to make. And for me, it is also a stone of safety. Like, this is my safe stone. And it is as well a stone for me, a stone of love. This was one of my very first stones ever. And I don't know how well you can see it in the camera here, but you see, I started with a malachite that had a heart in it, and now I have a malachite that is a heart. So very much this malachite energy for us today. In fact, let's just have a look-see and see a bit more what malachite means more of for us. Card summaries. Malachite we have right here. Malachite frees your heart of emotional bindings, helps you to accept love. That is so very much the theme of the divine masculine energy, right? It is that space and place of finally acknowledging for itself that it's time to allow for the masculine to truly be loved. Just as the feminine has working so committedly, so diligently, and this deep dive healing space to learn, to really learn how to let love in, right? Well, so too must this be done in that masculine space. And the external masculine, you can be sure, is in this space and place of also learning what it is to allow himself to genuinely and authentically and unconditionally be loved. Again, Goddess, the answer for what your external counterpart is doing is always, always under your nose by what you've been focusing on, what you've been being called to give attention to. The malachite is the mirror of the soul stone. And so how divinely aligned is it that of all of these stones that I had sitting here, and even this one, I'd seen that, but I kept seeing to bring the heart-shaped malachite to really drive home this, the twin flame mirroring, the reflection into yourself, and really breaking free of those bindings, those emotional traumas and beliefs and stored body memory that have been pinching ourselves off from this love, pinching this divine masculine, the entire collective, from feeling this love that the divine feminine is so eager to share and to embrace this masculine in. But just as the divine feminine has had to detach from her external counterpart because of her own lessons in love, so too has the external divine masculine had to do this journey for himself. Because there are so many twin flames in truth that are here to transcend this illusion of separation by coming to the realization and knowing that you are already whole and complete. And that is what this journey is about. It is about you achieving the inner union, your inner masculine and inner feminine. And so now it is time for that inner masculine goddess, that inner masculine within you, to really begin to feel that love and to expand into this space of acceptance and unconditionality without requiring this part of you to be an overachiever in the sense of feeling not good enough unless you are always at 100%, always the strong one, always this, right? It's learning to recognize and honor the totality of the journey that is both the masculine journey and the feminine journey. So with that, a little malachite fun there. Malachite, just so you know, additionally, purges fears. Purges fears, and that's so very much what needs to happen. That fear of love, that fear of being wounded by love. Gotta let it in. And so with that, oh, wow. I barely go to pull the cards. And acceptance, right? Allowing for the acceptance of not just the love that is so ready to flow in and embrace this masculine, the masculine within you and the masculine within the collective, the external masculine, right? Learning to accept all of the mistakes that have been made, recognizing that in every perceived mistake, because it's just a label, right? In every perceived mistake can be found a divine blessing. That is one of the greatest lessons my twin flame has taught me, because I was my mother's mistake. So it was this massive correlation, this very core wound of mine, that of course, this is what our twin flames do, is they crack us all the way open in these facets of ourselves that we thought we could hide from. We have to now move officially into this space of acceptance. And this is where this masculine energy is right now. Be it your external masculine or your internal masculine energy, goddess, you are at this space with focusing on that inner masculine energy and learning to accept the choices you've made, the decisions you've made, and that you are still worthy of love. The totality of you is worthy of love, and that you've got to accept the totality of you to let all of this love truly flow in. And that's so beautiful. That's so very much with the masculine energy right now. Acceptance. And ooh. And I was just about to ask, and what additionally are we being asked to give attention to what we need to accept? And that is the uncertainty of things, the not knowing exactly how the future is going to look, what's going to be unfolding for us all in your twin flame journey, in your self-love empowerment journey. It is trusting that regardless of whatever happens, that you accept that it is a part of your journey, your learning, growing, expanding, and ascending journey. That is your soul journey. Because the soul isn't the part of you that needs to know everything, Goddess. The soul isn't the part of you that has an issue with not knowing. Because remember, the soul, it already knows. It knows that it doesn't need to know everything and control everything. It knows that all is well and that everything is always working out for me and that I am fully supported and divinely led by the universe. The winds of source are at my back. That regardless of what decision I ever make, that there's really no such thing as a mistake. Because without these perceptions that we call mistakes, there would be no lessons for me to learn. Right? That's how we learn, grow, expand, and ascend, is stepping into this space of uncertainty. And in that space of uncertainty is where we truly grow that acceptance. Because you have to step into this uncertainty and this unknown to gain more information, gain more understanding, gain more experience, gain more of your power to accept that which has happened or that which you do not have power over, learning to let go of what you do not have power and control over. And so as a result of this acceptance space, right, this learning to let love in this masculine, there may be a time of needing some time to yourself. You may need to, especially as a feminine, right? When you've been so much in your masculine and you've really got to reach this space of being able to discern when you're in your feminine energy, when you're in your masculine energy, and then of course when you're in your wounded versus divine masculine and feminine, you know, and vice versa, right? You've got to be able to acknowledge, and that's really being able to discern for yourself when you're in ego, versus when you're in your soul space. And that's what this journey is, right? It's taking your power back from that to which you have acquiesced it, that to which you have given it. And so this does require a stepping out of an overstimulated environment, stepping out of a space that may be triggering, familiar to you in a way that it keeps you in these certain patterns and cycles. And so you're needing to take time away out of that space so that you can have a different perspective of things that you need to accept, of that which is uncertain, right? Because you've got to be willing to go where you've never gone so that you can be what you've never been, so you can experience what you've never experienced. So you've got to be willing to step into this uncertain space. And that means you've got to be willing to accept a whole hell of a lot about this journey. So allow yourself this space and time and place to pull yourself out of what is familiar, what is triggering, what is overstimulating, so that you can really truly go inward and not be distracted by the same old, okay? It's really about taking that time and being generous with yourself, right? Because the masculine energy is just as equally self-sacrificing as the feminine, right? But in a different way, in a more externalized way, right? We feminines, we internalize like everything, don't we? We do. But the masculines, right? They feel as though there's a whole lot of, they've got to give, just as the feminines do, right? Give to everybody else, do for everybody else at a detriment to themselves. And so the masculine energy is now really having to learn how to be genuinely generous. Oof, that's a good little term for us, goddess. Genuinely generous with yourself, with your masculine space. So when you make a decisive, masculine energy space decision, or to take an action in that space, it's learning to be generous with that love and support for yourself. Genuinely generous. And so with that, apparently we need this card here, the Work Your Light. Oh my goodness. Yes, we did, huh? I go to pull out the Power of Surrender deck, and out jumps this Work Your Light card. Well, how perfectly aligned is that, right? Because we're talking about the twin flame mirror. So right now, this is your question. This is the big journaling prompt for this time, is what is triggering you? What is triggering you that you need to look at and learn to accept? What in this have you not been willing to accept? Meaning, where is your resistance here? Where are you pinching yourself off from letting this love in? Right? What are you attempting to control in your masculine energy? Because this is the exact same thing that your external masculine may be doing. For those of you who are still very much focused on your external, because around here it's very much more about you. And so that's why it's again about this inner masculine within you, because that's where the work is that you've got to be doing, goddess, is the work within you. So who or what is triggering you, right? So if your counterpart is triggering you, or if a soulmate, even a karmic, whatever, because yes, your soulmate's going to trigger you too, because the triggers are in you. They're going to rub something in you that's going to give you this opportunity for you to look at it and see where there is non-acceptance, so that you can then shift that into acceptance, where you can then be more aligned and embodied in that generosity space, which is your gratitude, your abundance, allowing for it to flow in. You've got to be generous with yourself, that mirroring, right? You've got to show yourself this generosity in order for you to really be able to discern it in the world. And this is why we've got to focus on our inner masculine in order for it to really have an impact on the external world. It all begins within. And that is very much this twin flame journey is a self-love empowerment journey. And so with that, obviously, looking at what's triggering you, what you need to be accepting. Well, what are you needing to surrender or surrender to? Wow! This entire message today is so hugely amplifying about letting go of what you cannot change, letting go of these resentments with your counterpart about decisions that he made. He chose someone else. He married someone else. He's having a family with someone else. Let it be that. You've got to drop the resentments, and you've got to now realize that you are the one that is keeping you from living your life. Your inner masculine need to control how it looks is keeping you from experiencing the life and love that you've been wanting to experience. Whether it's with your twin flame counterpart or anybody, your soulmate, goddess, I can guarantee if you are listening to my channel and your twin flame has chosen a path that is contradictory or seemingly contradictory to you and you being in physical union in this life, then number one, you're on the right channel. But number two, what if that was the whole thing you signed up for? Was so that you could be transmuting this sort of stuff for humanity. Think of the resentments in relationships and marriages, and think about that. That's why you're here, goddess. You're here to transmute this for the collective as well as your own soul's journey, but additionally, to up-level your fucking life so that you are then experiencing all of that joy and that love and that amazing, all of that life that you have come to live. You are the one that keeps you from living it when you don't allow yourself to live it. You see? So if you want love, you have to let love in, and that means you've got to stop shutting everything else out. I guarantee you, you are on this channel, you are receiving this message, Goddess. Your twin flame chose that path because you're supposed to choose you, just like they need to choose themselves. You need to choose you, and then guess what? You've got a soulmate waiting in the wings. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. But you've got to move all of this baggage out of your way. You've got to be willing to surrender these resentments to the twin flame journey, to your twin flame counterpart, to that it didn't work out how you felt that it should have. That's all that wounded space, and you've got to heal that. You've got to shift into this acceptance. And then your entire twin flame connection is going to shift, the whole dynamic, because you've shifted. And you're going to see things from a whole nother level, a whole new perspective that's going to open you up in such a magnificent way that only magnificence can flow in. But you've got to let it in. And that's where we are on this Twin Flame Tuesday Divine Masculine Energy Empowerment message. Is about really nurturing that inner masculine energy to finally love itself and let go of the things that it can't change, but it can change now. And moving forward, it can make different decisions. That union, that he, she, inner union space within you, the totality of you, can then move forward in a more empowered, more expanded, more enlightened way. More abundant, more joyful. So much more amazing awaits on the other side of all of this shit that's littering your path right now. So this is it. Acceptance. Surrendering those resentments, so that you can accept the things that you truly cannot change, and then start focusing more and more on the things that you can. That's where your power is right now, Goddess. And that, perchance, is most likely where your external is. But remember, this is really more about your inner masculine and what you've got going on in your journey. Because if your counterpart, and I'm going to remind you of this, is your direct reflection, all you've got to do is look inside of you. With that, dear Goddess, we had a Malachite for a little bonus messenger today. And we're going to keep that. I'm going to remind you that the power, it is in your hands. The power to let love in, the power to experience this inner union, this balance, this acceptance, to surrender these resentments and accept the things that you cannot change so that you can change the things that you can. And then you have the wisdom, too, to know the difference. That power is in your hands, Goddess. Because that power has always, always been inside you. Namaste.